Okay, so as I mentioned in an earlier upload, I'm going to redesign and replan this whole module. I now have 27 linear feet, which I'm going to show you in a maquette model at the end. I'm going to redesign this. This particular diorama or module becomes module C attached to A and B. So there'll be 3 modules in total with a combined 27 linear feet with from 16 inches to 24 inches depth. And so what I'm going to do is I want to redo the Milner grain elevator site. This doesn't do justice. It's sort of an ad hoc thing, even though it was a great exercise in modeling. But I want to add the other. There's 3 more bins that have been added to this icon at the rear, and it's still functioning today. So I want to add those bins. So I need more depth. And then these trees are not actually there on the original site, which I don't live too far from, a few miles. It's more deciduous further back, and there's a big parking lot here where grain trucks come in and U-turn and drive into the loading bays. And the cell tower, which I want, is at the end of the parking lot, so that has a little yard, a fenced off yard, and other little buildings down below which I want to model as well. And it's only serviced by one siding, and there's a main. So this module will become module C, as I'll demonstrate in the maquette model to follow. And like I say, there are just some changes that I really feel compelled to do. And then in place of this will be the shops, which I'll show in the next clip. And then I'll mention briefly the module B as the classification yard. Okay? Okay, so the new module A, or number 1, will be similar to this, except this facade, this model will be wider, and this will be all like new. Like this will be a new facade of the shops. Okay, where some of the tracks go into the shops, just like this, and then there's 2 back here, and then there's 3 or so here, and then there's a arrival, departure, and a switch lead to the side here, and a repair in place track. So I'll be able to fit that nicely and have plenty of room for the locomotives with a little tiny bit of compression to slip out of the shop yard and then just do 1 switchback down to the classification yard, which will justify some rolling stock, classifying grain cars for the elevator, and some tank cars and a sand car to service the sander and fuel, and then repair in place track. So it makes sense linearly, and I'm excited about that. I haven't decided fully on module B yet how that'll look, but in the following maquette model, which I'm going to show you what I'm using to plan with, I'll have a track plan, like just a tentative one laid out, which is subject to revision as well, but it'll give you an idea of the new direction that I'm going, okay? Okay, so here's the 2-inch to foot maquette model that I'm going to use to design the new layout. And as you can see here, module A, module B, module C. This original Glover Road gets revised and becomes module B with the grain elevator at the end of the line. Module B will be a compressed version of the classification yard, or a portion of it, as a stub end, like the prototype, which has a stub end and double end as well. And then module A, which will be the main feature, will be the shops, the west side. So I'm going to have a facade back here like you see at the rear over there. and then the locomotives will come out onto a lead here, and then there'll be the main curving off through the classification yard, and then a switch lead as well to service it. So locomotives can still move out on the main, and a switcher can still service the stub yard. And then in this corner there'll be a natural kind of view block represented as part of the Queensboro Bridge, which is right there as I've shown you in photos. And then the transition will be, in terms of artistic license and compression, this will be where the new Glover Road Diorama resides. It'll be shorter, unfortunately, but the grain elevator will be here. I also have the option to add a cassette for a lead here if I want as well, because I have a window here that I don't want to block. So yeah, so that's the idea. I'm going to add a little more to this model. I'm going to play around with it a bit more and do some of the little mini model representations just to move things around, because I want to use this model not only for construction purposes, but also for, most importantly, composition. I can lay out and move around things and do my track diagram 2 inch to the foot as well, and establish all the composition for the most part, and make all those decisions now, and then when I go to build I can make small revisions. That way I can visualize it a lot better rather than just shooting from the hip, right? Okay, so that's the reason for the maquette model, and in some subsequent uploads I'll show you the maquette model fleshed out a little bit more. Okay, thanks for tuning in, thanks for watching, have a great day.